In a quiet park on an October night in Ankara, 11:07 p.m., a man named Murat sits on a wooden bench. The air smells of wet grass and cold stone, and above him the sky stretches wide, full of bright points of light. He lifts his head, lets the darkness cool his face, and feels both lost and strangely full of hope. Dreams before the storm. 6 months earlier, Murat's life looked steady. He owned a small bookshop on Çınar Avenue and greeted customers by name. The shop was tiny, yet every shelf carried stories he loved. He had opened the door each morning with fresh tea in hand, whispering thanks as sunbeams touched the windows. Friends often said the place felt like a safe harbor. Slowly, his savings grew, and so did his belief that calm days would last. Murat's dream was simple: keep the bookshop alive and one day print a small novel of his own. He stayed late after closing, bending over a notebook while streetlights painted yellow pools on the floor. At those times, he felt the future was a clear, straight road. On weekends, he walked along the river with his sister, Elif, speaking about new titles and new plans. They laughed when passers-by asked for directions, turning the short walk into a friendly tour. The world appeared gentle, and Murat's shoulders rested easy. Bridge Street, the day everything changed. A sharp wind cut through Ankara on the first Monday of April. Murat arrived at Banka Bridge Street branch to deposit the weekend earnings. The lobby lights flickered as a technician worked on a panel near the door. While Murat waited, a loud alarm blared. A masked man burst inside, shouting demands. In a single frantic minute, the robber grabbed cash from the clerk, pushed Murat aside, and fired one wild shot at the ceiling. No one was hurt, yet fear stayed in Murat's body like ice. Police rushed in, but the gunman escaped. The branch closed for investigation, and clients were told to return later with statements. That evening, Murat locked his shop, heart still racing, and took the tram home. He did not notice the smell of roasted chestnuts, usually a comfort. All he heard was the ringing of the alarm in his memory. 2 days later, a phone call brought worse news. Investigators found irregularities in the shop's insurance file, and coverage for robbery damage was still incomplete. The small cash reserve he lost at the bank was all he had to pay suppliers for new books. Bills piled up fast. By early May, the landlord asked for 3 months of rent or an exit within 10 days. Murat stood among boxes of unsold novels, the smell of ink suddenly heavy, and felt the floor tilt beneath him. He closed the door of the bookshop for the last time on a rainy Tuesday. A chill ran down his back as the key clicked. The sign "Open" hung inside, facing empty shelves, like a mute witness to an ended chapter. For the next weeks, Murat slept on a sofa at Elif's small apartment. He woke before dawn, stared at the ceiling, and tried to count how many mistakes had led him here. His once clear, straight road was now a foggy maze. Night sky, silent teacher. One evening in mid-June, Murat needed air. Elif handed him a thin jacket and pointed toward the neighborhood park. "Stay out as long as you need," she said softly, worry hidden behind a tired smile. The park lay quiet. A single lamp hissed near the gate, but farther in, darkness ruled. Murat found the wooden bench under a chestnut tree and sat down. A dog barked in the distance, then silence covered the grass again. Slowly his eyes adjusted. Above him, the Milky Way looked like soft smoke. Stars winked, steady and patient. A cool breeze carried the scent of pine and soil, and with each breath his chest loosened a little. Murat followed one bright star across the sky, tracing its line toward the horizon. He thought, "That light left the star years ago, yet I see it tonight." The idea felt both enormous and comforting. Memories returned in short flashes. The first customer he ever helped, the smell of new pages, the warmth of tea in winter. Loss still hurt, but these images reminded him that his love for books had not died with the shop. He noticed how the park lights ended at a certain point, and after that only starlight guided his eyes. A simple thought rose. "I cannot control darkness, but I can walk where the light reaches." For the first time since April, Murat felt a small decision bloom inside him. He would not chase the past. Instead, he would write, because no robber could steal words already in his mind. The night sky above seemed to widen, as if making room for the choice. First steps at dawn. Back at Elif's flat, he opened the notebook he had ignored for weeks. The pages smelled faintly of dust. He wrote one sentence. "I lost my shop, but not my story." The next morning, Murat walked to the public library. Sunlight splashed over the marble steps, and pigeons flapped away as he passed. Inside, the air was still and cool, carrying the soft rustle of pages. He asked the librarian about work. There were no full-time posts, but she needed help sorting donations on weekends. The pay was small, yet the shelves felt like home. Murat accepted without pause. During weekdays, he wrote in the reading room. He set a timer for 45 minutes, then rested his eyes on the windows where cotton clouds floated. Short, regular sessions kept him moving forward. Money remained tight. Murat translated brochures for local cafes at night. The tasks were simple: convert menus from Turkish to English. Each finished page bought another day of rice and bread, and he felt grateful. Twice a week, he returned to the same park after sunset. The bench waited, and the stars waited. They became silent partners in his plan, reminding him that slow light can still cross great distances. An unexpected window opens. Early in September, the library announced a short story contest. The theme was New Beginnings. Murat saw the poster while stacking donated textbooks. His fingers trembled, not with fear this time, but with a spark of possibility. He spent evenings shaping a tale about a fisherman who learns to read the sky instead of the sea. Each draft felt lighter. Elif checked his grammar, offering gentle notes and coffee full of cinnamon. On the submission day, rain hammered the city. Murat wrapped his pages in a plastic folder and walked through puddles. The clerk stamped the envelope with a calm thud, sealing weeks of careful work. Waiting became a lesson in patience. Murat kept writing other pieces, small and honest. He also guided school children during library tours, pointing at bright covers and saying, "Every story is a tiny key." Late October brought a clear evening and an email with the subject line, "Contest Result." Murat clicked, heart drumming. His story had won third place. No fireworks lit the sky, but his smile felt larger than the moon. The reward was modest, a new laptop and a small grant for continued writing. Still, it was proof that light travels, even from a bench in a dark park. He shared the news with Elif, who hugged him, proud tears in her eyes. Purpose under the stars. Now, on this October night, Murat sits again beneath the chestnut tree. The laptop rests in his backpack, warm from earlier use. Above, Orion climbs the sky, its belt shining like 3 honest words: courage, effort, time. He thinks about the robbery, the closing sign, and the sofa nights. They still form part of him, yet no longer define him. What defines him now is the draft saved on his computer and the steady beat of new ideas. Leaves rustle overhead, and the bench creaks as he rises. Murat feels the wooden slats one last time, a soft reminder of the night he chose movement over despair. The park path stretches ahead, faintly silver in starlight. He steps forward, listening to the quiet clap of his shoes on the paved walk. Each step is small, yet full of purpose. The vast night sky remains above him, not an empty space, but a ceiling of quiet lamps urging him on.